Okay, we're on Eruvin, Perek Daled Mishnah Tet. Our Mishnah actually brings up a really, really interesting machloket about eruv tchumin. The Mishnah says, "V'zumi she'amar." There's this phrase that we say, "Ani me'arei beraglav." The ani, the poor person, makes an eruv with his feet. I.e., remember we said that if a person sees, he says, "I'm standing here, and I want to make an eruv far away." Then he can designate his eruv far away. Otherwise, he says, "I want my eruv right here. I'm standing right here. I want to make my eruv right here." For example, so we saw in the example that I've been using all along, I'm in Yad Binyamin. I happen to be standing, okay, in this place in Chavetz Chaim. Let me get rid of the circle just because it's confusing to me. Oop, there we go. Okay, let me move it. We'll move it to the side. Okay. Now I'm standing in this place in Chavetz Chaim. Okay, so I'm able to be ma'arei beraglo, and I could walk all the way to Yad Binyamin. Great, because but before that we talked about the idea. Remember, if I'm in Yad Binyamin, okay, and my normal eruv is there, if I wanted to make an eruv, I took bread and I stuck it here, and that would be able to extend to change my shvita, so I can make it all the way to Gedera. Remember, that's exactly what we said. But the ikar was with the bread. So now we said, well, 1 second, if I'm out in the open, if I'm b'chilki, I can make my eruv wherever I am. So that's what the Mishnah is talking about. The Mishnah says, Zui sha'amru, that's what we said. If a person is standing out in the open, he's an ani me'arei beraglav. An ani can make the eruv tchumin with his feet. He doesn't have to use the bread. Okay? Amar Rabbi Meir. So I'm going to read the interesting machloket. Said Rabbi Meir, Anu ein lanu ela ani. Okay? We're only talking about an ani. Okay? But an ashir, he cannot make an eruv tchumin with his feet. He has to actually use food. Rabbi Yehuda says, Echad ani ve'echad ashir. Right? Whether he's an ani or an ashir, he can make an eruv. Lo amru ma'arvin bepat ela lehakel al ha'ashir. Right? The only reason we said you can make an eruv with bread is to make life easier for the ashir. Shelo yetzeh v'yareh beraglav. So he doesn't have to go out and make the eruv with his feet. So it's very interesting, okay, that Rabbi Meir says only an ani can be ma'areh beraglav, whereas Rabbi Yehuda seems to say that both an ani and an ashir can be ma'areh beraglav, and if the ashir wants to, he can be ma'areh bepat. That the pat is the kula. So let's look at the Bartanura and then I'll make you a chart. Okay? So therefore, the Rabbi Meir says, Ikar, the Bartanura says the following. Rabbi Meir says, Ikar eruv bepat. What's the difference? Let's look back at a second, at the machloket. I'll give you a chart. Okay? The machloket, this is the machloket that we see in the Mishnah. Okay? Shvitat regel b'makom bo hu omed. Okay, if I'm standing in a certain place, so when we said, Ha'ani me'arei beraglav. Okay, I just move the chart so you can see it a little better. The ani, that's what the Mishnah says. The ani, he makes his eruv with his feet, and not the ashir. That's what we said. And that's the Tanakama, Rabbi Meir. Only the ani, shvita bereka b'makom bo omed. If I'm standing in a certain place, can I do shvita with my feet? Okay? The Mishnah says, Rabbi Meir says only the ani can do it. Whereas Rabbi Yehuda says, no, it doesn't matter, either an ani or an ashir. So the Bartanura says, what's the nature of this machloket? The nature of the machloket is the following. Sfirle the Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says, Ikar eruv bepat. The essence of an eruv, how do you make your shvita? I say, this is where I want to be for Shabbat, with food. So, but, when we said, Ani me'arei beraglav, kulahu de'akilu gabe ani. It's for an ani, or mishabah baderech, or somebody who's in the middle of the road, he's like an ani. If you don't have bread, you're like an ani. Then you can use your feet. Therefore, that's what Rabbi Meir says, an ani, or a traveler. Or holech baderech, or a traveler. Okay, that guy's like an ani, and therefore it's a kula, because why? Ikar eruv is with pat. Whereas Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda savar, Ikar eruv beregel. He says, no, a person's eruv is where he is. How do you establish presence? You have to be there. So then how could you do it with pat? Kulahu, it's a kula, it's a leniency de akilu la ashir. We made a leniency, she'eno yachol lelech beraglav. He doesn't want, yachol, he can't go, or he doesn't want to, it's before Shabbat. Lishloach eruvo yedei shaliach. You can send a shaliach. So it's really interesting because in our picture, Rabbi Meir says the shvita. What's the ikar eruv? With a regel. Rabbi Yehuda says the ikar eruv with your feet. So therefore, if I'm nashir, I could go out and I can make my shvita with my regel. I don't need to put bread there. I don't need to put food out there. Okay, so why would I put food? It's a kula. I don't want to use that. I can send somebody else instead of me. He can be my regel, which is really interesting. So therefore, the question is when I'm in Yad Binyamin. Let's go back to where we were. I'm in Yad Binyamin and I want to do my eruv, and I want to make my eruv so I can go to Gedera. Okay, do I have to put the bread there, or can I go out and stand there erev Shabbat? So according to Rabbi Meir, no, the ikar is with pat. So therefore, I have to go put bread there if I have the bread. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, it's not bipat. What makes a shvita? If I'm standing somewhere on Erev Shabbat before Chashecha, that makes my shvita in that place. I'm blocking myself. Okay? Maybe not. That makes a shvita in that place. And therefore, if I don't want to stand there, then I can put the bread there. That's a very fascinating machloket of what the ikar shvita is. Rabbi Meir says it's only for the ani because the ikar shvita is with pot. Rabbi Yehuda says no, ikar shvita is beregel, and that's why echad ani ve'echad asher. Whether you're poor or not, you can go out beregel, and the only reason the pot is there is lahakel el asher, to make life easier. Shelo yitzei v'yareh b'raglav, that I don't have to go out Erev Shabbat. It's a kula, but it's a very fascinating machloket. What's the ikar eruv? What makes a shvita? The food that I put there, or the fact that I'm standing somewhere, does that make shvita before Shabbat? We'll stop here. As always, comments or questions, email me, and we'll dedicate a learning to the memory of my father, Rab Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.